getting that last 3 and out right there. Good physical play on defense. And then when the moment arises, they have to go for it. The other thing that they cannot do.
Funny that Holly Rose talking about the one thing you cannot do, and then you throw a pick on the first play. Not really how you want to start the game. So let's look at the overall play design here. You're going to have Ronnie Bell coming across formation into the flat, deep route on the outside here, and then tight ends are running kind of an out route and cross pattern here. The goal is play action here. You're going to have the offensive linemen all blocking this way. Key block on the offensive line is right tackle, just to not let anyone in as Joe Milton rolls out right, reading this action from the defense here. Play action is just to get everyone flowing this way to give some room to Milton and also get the guys who are going to be on these crossing routes out of position. That's the play design. Looking at the blocking real quick, nothing really stands out here as Milton has plenty of time here to make a decision. Looking at the routes though, so again you have the 2 crossing routes intermediate here from All and Eubanks. Ronnie Bell's well covered here. Number 19 gets on his horse and covers this route from Ronnie Bell across formation, and the fly route, Cornelius Johnson, I think, does not look to be open. So of these guys, it looks like these 3 routes are well covered. This does look to be the appropriate throw here from Milton. And at first, I thought this was a throw that a defensive back just got a hand on. Upon further review, not the case. Just hits off of Eubanks' face mask. I'm pretty sure he said that he just wasn't expecting the pass, which is a little alarming from your tight end to say, but yeah, man, that's just a miss. Hits him right on the face mask, right through his hands, and again, after a 3 and out from the defense is just not a play that shows your defense that you're grateful for their effort, and it's a bad way to start a game that obviously did not turn out very well after this point. So not great.
Stay on schedule. It's a 1st and 15 run for Blake Corum, the true freshman.
So it's already 1st and 15 because of a false start penalty. Let's look at the overall play design. Outside handoff here. It looks like it's supposed to be a read. I don't think it was actually called a read, but they allowed this guy to get into the backfield, and this would be the read guy here. I digress. You're going to have Barnhart here releasing towards this linebacker here. Left guard is going to be releasing to this linebacker to edge him off here. One-on-one block with Eric All, and then one-on-one blocks on the edge. Given that it's a handoff here, you should have the numbers here. Only on block guy is here. I have a couple issues here. Let's just move forward, and you'll see there's 3 main issues I have with this play. So number 1, you can see immediately Blake Corum has to balloon out, and that's because of the presence of 92. So I think either this is supposed to be a read guy and Milton misread it because he's clearly in the backfield. If this is an option for a quarterback to run here, it appears he has at least numbers over here, but I think it's a called run. I could be wrong about that. Let me know in the comments. But Barnhart releasing to the second level here doesn't really help the play, right? He doesn't get a good enough chip. I think maybe he needs to chip this guy before releasing to the second level here, but this guy just gets a free couple of yards here, and that really balloons out this path. All right, that's issue number 1. Issue number 2, watch the block from Eric All. He loses on number 19 right here. That's a big loss. That further balloons out this. If Eric All has his head on the outside and is able to cave him in, that gives Blake Corum at least a path to cut closer here, makes it a tougher job on the safety. Since he has to further balloon out because of this guy and this guy, that gives plenty of room for the safety to come down, and that safety eventually makes the play. The other issue I might have is why are we blocking this guy who's way back here instead of the safety who's coming up in a bigger threat? But if this guy does make a better reaction here than he did, I could see why that's the case. But really, it's between this guy getting a free release and ballooning this out, lost block from here, and then just a good play from the safety, and this play is doomed. So really bad way to set your team up in 2nd and long already after the 1st down penalty.
Right now. Hassan Haskins now the back, but Milton is going to run it. And on
Still really understand the play design here. So Michigan's just running into a numbers issue here. So you're going to have Haskins coming this way. And the blocking on the play side here, you're going to have a double between Eubanks and Barnhart here on 92 with Eubanks eventually falling off for this play side linebacker right here. He's going to come up here. 41 is going to shoot upfield. You want your left guard coming, and he's going to kick him out, right? And that'll kind of form this hole right here for Milton. You're going to have just a double team here on the defensive tackle, and then Stuber one-on-one on this defensive end. That's it. This guy's completely left unblocked. I think Michigan is hoping that this guy, he's left unblocked, but he's just following Haskins, so he's out of the play, right? So, but you still have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 with Michigan's doubling this guy, and they're never falling off towards this linebacker. And since we have the double team here falling off here, there's no one to account for this guy. This guy's a free shot here into the backfield, and he makes the play. So let's move forward here. There's a couple issues. Number one, Stuber does not get engaged with his guy. 97 is able to come down the line, and he makes an assisted tackle here as well. So Stuber needs to work to get his head inside. You just can't let this guy down the line, and that guy really blows up this play. You can see right there. He's there, right? Even if defensive back is there, he's probably at least making the play. Beyond that, it's actually pretty well blocked, right? You have the double team getting some movement here. This is fine. Double team here. Good job from Eubanks, and Eubanks falls off onto the linebacker. Everything there is good. The issue here, again, 97, I mentioned Stuber missing his block, but again, this guy is completely unblocked. What do they expect this guy to be doing here? He's a free shot here, and there's Milton. This is exactly where Milton's supposed to go, and they just leave this guy unblocked. So for 2nd and 18, you're running into an issue where you have unblocked guys at the line of scrimmage, and then you lose a block as well, and you're in 3rd and 17 here, and it's just not a good situation.
On 3rd and 17, they rush forward. They still get near Milton, and he throws it.
Very next play, not great. Not great. Only thing we see from Wisconsin, straight pass rush here. These guys are dealt with between these 3 linemen. You have a little bit of a stunt here. Defensive tackle is going to come up. He's going to engage with Zinter, go to the tackle. Defensive end is going to loop around here. He does get a little bit of pressure on Milton here. So watch Zinter, your right guard here, engages with 97, fails to pass him off until late. You see right here, you're too late. This guy's already on his path to Milton. I don't think it affected this play too much, but Zinter has to get over a little bit quicker than he did. You can see everyone else is dealt with. So, the guy does get a little bit of a body on Milton there on the throw. So if you're Zinter, he's young, but you got to be a little bit better than that. So, issue number 2 here, let's watch the eyes of Milton. We don't get a good sense of all of the routes, but the main routes to take a look at is this sort of in route from Eubanks. It's a poorly drawn route, but then you have kind of this hitch route from Giles Jackson. Read number 1 for Milton right here is this safety. If he flows this way, then you're going to have Giles Jackson as your number 2. If this guy floats this way, then you'll have a possible window to Eubanks. So that's the read here. He reads it correctly where that safety floats over to Eubanks. He shifts over to his second read right here, and he knows this will be open. Issue is twofold here. He underthrows it, right? There's no way that this throw is actually going to get there, even if that linebacker doesn't exist. That's going to be a 5-yard short pass. So maybe the contact affected him there. But obviously, I think he throws a little bit late here. If he starts throwing right now, he knows his guy is going to start breaking. He only throws the ball once he sees the break. That gives a little bit extra time for the linebacker to get into that flight path of the ball. It also, maybe it would have given the opportunity for the defensive back here to actually make a play. But if the throw's a little bit earlier, he has more room and a better chance of beating that defensive back on Giles Jackson. So there's a couple issues there, and it's just a not accurate throw at a really bad time.
Chest to that middle linebacker. On the end around, A.J. Henning has to fight, claw, and scratch to get back to the line.
Good effort from Henning here to get back to the line of scrimmage. You just have kind of a sweep action here, end around, whatever you want to call it here to A.J. Henning. You're going to have everyone trying to get outside here, and the goal is just to get as many guys here as the defense is flowing here. Main guy to watch is this defensive back. So this guy blows up everything. All right, so watch him. He's going to be flying into the backfield here, and Eric Gall is trying to pick him up. But that guy just essentially plants himself right in the path of where this play is supposed to go, right? So imagine this guy doesn't exist, right? Maybe he waits a bit, allows Eric Gall to get upfield a little bit more. And this is a big play because then you have Charbonnet around the edge, Henning on a straight path here. But since this guy displaces himself right here, that's right in the path that Henning wants to go, right? It forces him to balloon out, forces this block to come around. It just blows up everything. So credit the defensive back there for supplanting himself there and just tunneling under. And again, that forces Henning to balloon out. And this just more than anything gives time for the defense. 45 here, cut back any sort of lane that you would have had for Henning here, and he came from the inside. If you watch 45, he just came from the inside. So even if Henning wanted to cut up field here, he's cutting into a guy who's flowing from the backside of the play, so he's there. So Henning has to go to the outside. Another issue here is Eubanks eventually loses this block. So since Charbonnet has to cut up here, he's running into another block. So that's 2 guys accounting for 1 defender here for Wisconsin. And that just gives all the time in the world for the safeties, for everyone else flowing to the play to get to the outside here. So there you see Eubanks, Charbonnet on the same guy. And now you have a bunch of bodies, right? Now you have no room, and you have 3 guys flowing here. Henning is just fighting everything he can to get back to the line of scrimmage. So it's a good play from 21, especially from Wisconsin, who lost his head here. And good job from flowing from the defense. But, yeah, that shows you just one play from 21 can blow up everything, and it displaces all the future blocks on the edge for Michigan on this play specifically.
Sure, but he'll dial up some things like most defensive coordinators on third down. And Milton fires and tried to get his guy to win it.
3rd and long here to Eric All, kind of on a fade. You're only going to have 4 for Wisconsin, so this guy's actually going to fake and then kind of drop back here. You're going to have 1, 2, 3, and then this guy 4 coming on the pass rush. Michigan does a good job just keeping 5 in here. Just look at the pass protection here. Good job from Zinter to pick up the blitz. You see, you have the time to the throw. There's no pressure here, so everyone does well. Good adjustment there. Good line call from Vistardis here, and this is a good pocket for a quick throw for Milton, but a good pocket regardless. So the first read all the way, you see Milton's eyes. Looks like he's looking at the safety first. I don't really see him over here, but he's probably just checking to ensure that this is going to truly be a one-on-one here. And that seems to be the first read. So after that look at the safety, he throws over here. And I think this could have been called interference, right? I don't see a whole lot of 50-50 here. It appears we'll show a better angle as well. It appears that this defensive back has his hand in the chest of Eric All throughout this route and never really looks back. So it's like I've seen Michigan get dinged for this. I would like to see some consistency here. So again, right here, just looking, boom, there's your grab right on the collarbone there or at the jersey. No real like grabbing from Eric All, so it's not like you could say this is really 50-50, maybe a little bit push armbar there, but he never really is looking back for the ball, and especially right here, that tug. Again, I've seen worse I've seen less get called. Michigan doesn't catch a break here. I still think Eric All could have done a little bit better to try to get more of a handle on the ball. Maybe a little bit more loft would have done well, but I think it's a combination of not making a play from Eric All and kind of a missed call. But I mean, at this point, Michigan hasn't picked up a single first down, so they're not helping themselves either. So
to take effect. On 3rd and 8, they're just going to hand the ball to Charbonnet, and he's going to get knocked down.
3rd and 8, this is just kind of a baffling call. Okay, so it's just a handoff here to Charbonnet. It's just zone blocking. So they're going to leave this guy unblocked. All right, so technically, yes, you have 5 on 5 here. The issue I have with this is it's a really, really tough ask for 2 of these blocks. So you need your left guard to pick up this nose tackle who's going to be coming down the line here. So left tackle has to get across a couple gaps here to actually pick up this block and get his head across to not allow this guy to flow to the play. Second block, which I put this on borderline impossible, is left tackle to get to the backside linebacker. Wisconsin has really good linebackers, so these guys are flowing up to the play. Beyond that, you have a double team here, and then you're going to have right guard fall off for this linebacker. He does fine. One-on-one block here, that's acceptable as well. So it's these 2 guys that are really tough asks for these 2 linemen for Michigan, and you'll see that both those guys make the play, right? So tough ask for 66 here, Filiaga, and you can see 92 come down the line. He's going to make the play. Here you have Barnhart trying to get to the linebacker. He's flowing to the play. The angle just doesn't make sense for this block to actually get there. And you can see both are lost, right? Both have their heads across right now. You can see both these guys have their heads across. Barnhart's not in position at all here, but I don't think he was set up well for success here. And this hole is gone because you also have Stuber who lost his block here on the outside. So that's 3 lost blocks, and all 3 of those guys tackle Charbonnet at the same time, as well as 57 at the end there. So I just don't think this is a play that's well set up for the Michigan offensive players. and it's 3rd and 8. So even if those 3 blocks get there somehow, you still have safety coming down here as well as another safety over here. So you have 2 additional guys coming down, and I just don't see how you realistically expect this play to get 8 yards on 3rd and 8. And I think Michigan at this point is still without a first down. Maybe they just got one, but it doesn't make sense to me.
Get embarrassed and come out swinging. Flip it to
Okay, this is a pretty simple one. You're just going to have a little bubble here from Henning, just a quick fake and throw from Milton out here. Key blocks here, Roman Wilson here. And you got Senior still on the outside, right? You pick up these 2 blocks. These 2 guys are eliminated if you pick up those. Only guys you have is this guy flowing to the play, which you should be able to beat, Henning on the outside, and then this guy. Should be an easy 5 yards at least, close to 10 if everything goes well, and maybe even more if Henning can make a guy miss. So if you couldn't tell already, there's one block that is just missed here, and that's from Roman Wilson. I think it's just a clear miss. Nothing more to say about that. This guy just cuts inside, and by the time A.J. Henning is catching the ball, he's done, right? You're not going to get out of that, and 19 as well is able to get over there because of the time that is provided by that block, right? This guy is actually further upfield than A.J. Henning at this point, so Henning has to cut up and try to go around this way. That gives enough time for 19 to get into the play as well. So just a miss from Wilson. He's a young player, but that hurts. That hurts. It's another negative play on first down, and you're in 2nd and 11, 2nd and 12, and that hurts.
the game behind him. Goes in motion now. Milton's running all the way, and it'll be chased down.
Frustrating play for a couple of reasons. All right, let's look at the overall play design. So you're going to have these 3 guys just coming across here to try to block off these 2 gentlemen flowing down here. You're going to have a pull here from your right guard, and he's going to pick up the edge-most guy coming up here. Double team from Stuber and Schoonmaker. Schoonmaker fall off for this linebacker. Ben Mason through the hole first, hopefully to pick up this guy coming down. You got Milton to follow behind. All right, that's play design. So what happens on the actual blocking? Main issue, watch the center Vistardis. He has a really tough job here where he has to come across the formation, get his head across on this nose tackle, and try to hold him up to form the left side of this hole, right? You do have the double team here that should help as well, but they actually get so much movement that this guy is able to create a crease and flow down here. You actually have a good pull here, and this block is picked up well, but Ben Mason has nowhere to go because of that nose tackle coming all the way down the line. You can see he ran into Ben Mason there trying to work his way through the hole, and Milton has nowhere to run because of that defensive tackle who's now in the way. And you can see Milton ran into that. The other, just kind of a bummer thing here, there's no read here. If there was a read, you would see that this corner is screaming off the edge here, and this guy is not fooled at all. Because of the delay here caused by this guy flowing down the line, this is actually the guy who makes the play coming off the edge backside because Milton has to hesitate here. But say that you have Corum here and there's an actual read on this. If there's an actual read and you see these guys flying down, you know you're going to have numbers on the outside, right? There's no one here for these. There's one block between the 2 of them here to really spring this, and honestly, it would be a touchdown if there is an actual read. I don't know why there's not an actual read there. So, I don't know, man. I'm at a loss. If Vistardis does block this well, it could be a big play because the numbers are there for Michigan, but I would argue that this guy backside still flowing to the play probably could have made the play still. So I don't know why there's not a read there.
From the official, from the pocket off play action, wide open, he
Really, really cool play here. And this is one of the few plays I can actually say that. So let's look at the blocking scheme here. So you're going to keep Eubanks in here. You're going to shift these guys. The blockers are coming down here. Don't let anything come backside here between these 4. You're going to have a pull from Zinter. He's going to cut outside here for Eubanks, who's going to step up and form the left side here. So you're going to have, what is this, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 in pass protection. You're going to send 4 out on routes. So the pass protection is there. If we're looking strictly at pass protection, you see the pull from Zinter to the left side there. You could have done a little bit better there, but by the time that Milton's throwing, no one's really flying in for pressure here. There's a late stunt here from 95 here for Wisconsin. He's going to try to loop around, but it's kind of looping into the protection that Michigan has on, so not an issue. And like I said, there's plenty of protection for Milton for this pass. These two gentlemen up kind of the seam here, and their job is just to occupy all of these guys out of here, and especially this deep safety back here, get him to bite on this seam. Make him think there's nothing else coming towards this side of the field. You're going to be setting Blake Corum across here. He's going to trick this number 19 here to think he's going out to the flat, and then he's going to cut up. Actually, it might be this guy. It's one of these two guys. But anyway, he's going out like it looks like he's going to the flat, and then he cut ups inside of him towards the pylon here. So you see, watch Blake Corum there. Yeah, it's number 19 here. His eyes in the backfield. He's headed out to the flats because that's all Michigan has shown. And then boom, Corum goes up on kind of like an abridged wheel there, and he wins the route. There's no safety there because the safety, as we see here, they've covered this seam, and this is a wide open area. Issue here. Just got to lay it up, man. This is schematic advantage. You have to, I think if you're Harbaugh, the offensive staff, you have to coach him to just lay this up. If it's there schematically, you can see the eyes for Milton. He was looking for this safety. Did he bite on this seam? Yes. And there's a guy on Roman Wilson. That's going to be open. Lay it up. Lay it up. It's there. It's there. Just overthrown. I think you could have done a little bit better if you're Corum there, but it's just an overthrown ball, and that hurts because you had it. You had it there. It was a touchdown. Nope.
I think he was expecting it, but a good job nonetheless. Little tempo after the first down. Corum can't get the edge.
This was close. It was close to something big here. So obviously it's handoff here to Corum. Let's look at the backside. You're going to have right tackle, right guard, and Vastardis just blocking down to their left. Their goal is just not to let 99 or this defensive tackle in on the backside. They do fine. Good movement from Vastardis here, and Zinter on the nose tackle. 99 isn't a factor on this play. So everything backside here is well blocked. All right, let's look at play side now. You're going to have a double between Schoonmaker and left tackle Barnhart. Boom, boom, right here. And then you're going to have Schoonmaker coming off to get the linebacker, and this is where it goes wrong. So watch the double first, and you're going to have Schoonmaker come off the double. Double's fine. And then you have Schoonmaker falling off, and he gets blown up by 45. 45 just completely disengages, rocks him back, and that's a lost block. So what that does, let's look at the pull here from Filiaga. Filiaga is going to pull here, and he's dealing with the edgemost defender here. He's actually going to pick him up well, right? So that's going to form this lane off of this double as well, form this lane for Ben Mason to come through. But since you had Schoonmaker lose that block, instead of there being a free lane for Mason here to go through and pick up, maybe this linebacker flowing, maybe the safety coming down, he now has to deal with 45 as well. So that's two guys to deal with just 45, and that leaves these guys flowing to the play. All right, so that's issue number one here, is Schoonmaker losing that block also forces Ben Mason to pick that up, right? So those guys are dealt with. But as I said, now you have 25 as a result because Ben Mason was held up. He has a free release to the play. Second issue, watch Ronnie Bell on the outside. Ronnie Bell completely misses his block on that gentleman, and it's, again, that free-flowing safety as well as that defensive back who make the play. So that's just, Schoonmaker missing that, and then Ronnie Bell on the outside, and that's a lost play that could have had a potential touchdown.
Before the timeout, Wisconsin's loaded the box. They're anticipating Milton on the run here. They're going to get Milton on the run, and they go low.
Kirk Herbstreit calls it. I don't understand why Michigan doesn't go under center, 4th and goal from the half-yard line. You're down 28, and you can't do a QB sneak for a touchdown. It's mind-boggling. Craziest call. Anyway, let's look at what goes wrong. So blocking for Michigan, you're just going to have down block, down block, down block. Here on the backside, nothing to really note here. You're going to have a double team here between Stuber and Vastardis to deal with this pull from Zinter. You're going to have a block from Schoonmaker as well. So let's look at just these guys and this double on this gentleman. Everything there goes fine. Nothing to account for there. That's all well blocked. I don't see any issue with that at all. So the issue here is the communication between Schoonmaker and Zinter. Zinter, by his eyes, he is thinking he has to pick up this guy. Schoonmaker seems like he's looking at this guy as well, and this would make sense. If this guy's coming down here, I would expect Schoonmaker to be blocking right here, right? He's coming down here, block him, and then you're going to have Zinter coming out with momentum to block this guy on the edge here. And then you're going to have Ben Mason, who can come right here, and he can either pick up if this guy decides to scream off the edge, pick him up, or pick him up if he's flowing here. you have Joe Milton to follow. The issue is, I think Schumacher blocks the wrong guy. You see, Schumacher looks like he's going for that linebacker. His first initial steps here looks like he's going that way. And then he decides, nope, I'm taking the edge guy. By the eyes of Zinter, he's like, uh-oh, I already have too much movement this way. I have to redirect here, and that gives this lane right here for this linebacker. With this sort of hesitancy between these two, Schumacher is also not in a good position to pick up here. So really you have both these guys able to affect the play. And Ben Mason has to choose, well, shit, I got to block one of these guys. And it's just not a good situation. So Mason does what he can here, but then you have that guy that Schumacher didn't pick up. He makes initial contact, and everyone behind can clean up the scraps here on Milton. So I don't know why you don't run QB sneak under center. If you have that little faith in your offensive line, what are we doing? That's it.
And Badgers bring some pressure. Milton from his goal line launches downfield into traffic.
Good pass breakup from Cornelius Johnson. Wisconsin's only bringing 4. They're bringing 1, 2, 3, and then this linebacker off the edge here. This guy's going to fake and then kind of drop off. So you have Barnhart here to account for this guy if he does come. So look at the eyes for Charbonnet. He's on this guy all over. So he does a really good job coming across the formation to deal with this blitz. It's well picked up. There's no pressure getting to Milton here. So that's really well done overall from the pass protection unit. Only 4 against 6 though. So you'd expect it to be the case, but it is a good pocket. Good job all around from the offensive line. Okay, so looking at kind of the routes, again, good pass breakup from Johnson. What led to this? So looking at the route combo, you have kind of like on the bottom of your screen, you just have a seam from Giles Jackson. You have kind of a little hitch route, and then you're going to have a crossing route from Ronnie Bell, and then you have just kind of the fly route from Cornelius Johnson. All right, I'll go through that just to show you a couple times. And it's a clear miss here. So, I mean, I get it. Like, I get what Milton is reading. So it looks like he's initially, like his first look is over here. But I think that's mainly just to get the movement of this safety off here because this is your first actual read. So I think that's why he's looking over there. And then he shifts back to this safety, right? He's looking right here. And that safety, to be fair, his movement is a little bit over here. But he needs to understand the spacing between where this route is going and where Giles Jackson route is going. There's a lot more space here in this area than what you have in single coverage here for Cornelius Johnson. So he's still reading. At the time that he starts to throw, that safety is reacting. So 2 issues. I think he misproperly judged the amount of space here that this safety can cover, and also understanding that there's a big pocket here that this safety is not likely to be able to close on if this ball is thrown a little bit like more inside here, and these guys aren't necessarily in that flight path. So you do have a safety over here. Again, it's not as wide open, so this guy would close to the right of Giles Jackson. But if this throw is going to be thrown, it has to be thrown on a line, and there's just way too much loft on it. That loft gives plenty of time for that safety, and it's like a punt, and Johnson makes a nice play there. So I don't think Giles Jackson was as open as people are saying. I think there's definitely a lane here, but you do have that safety who's kind of like right in the middle of these routes, right? As a triangle right here between this zone. I think you have a better shot. This is a shorter throw to rifle in here that this guy probably wouldn't be able to get to, but it is a good reaction. But if he rifles that throw a little bit better, I think it's also a completion here. It's arguable, but it can't be lofted like that, especially not where that safety is. It can't be lofted like that, and give a lot of credit to Cornelius Johnson for reacting the way he did and breaking up that interception. So
involved in the showdowns next week into the Big Ten that we talked about. Oh, Corum is just...
Corum gets decked in the backfield. Let's look at the backside blocking first because that's more fun. Good blocks here. I mean, these guys aren't really affecting the play, but nothing comes through backside, so that's at least good. I guess we'll look at the double team here as well. This is a good double right here on this defensive tackle. You're going to have Stuber falling off to get this backside linebacker, and he does well. This guy starts flowing to the play. So all 4 of these guys are accounted for. Nothing really to report there. So you can see double team does well. Stuber falls off for 58. Everything backside is looking good. No issues there. Let's look next at the pull. for Trevor Keegan getting in the game. So left guard, he's going to pull around here. He's getting the first guy in the hole here. It's going to be this linebacker coming up. And good pop from Keegan. He gets a good block here on 59 there. Boom, rocks him, and maybe a little bit lower for Keegan, and you'd be good. But that's a good pull. That's a good block. Good pop there in the hole. So what else? Play side, you have Eric All picking up this guy on the edge. No issue here. This guy's flying upfield. Easy block for Eric All, but he accomplishes that as well. So combine that with the pull here, and you have this nice hole forming for Corum. So what's the issue? The issue is Ronnie Bell here. And I'm not putting this on Ronnie Bell, but this guy's going to be flowing down to the play. He's quite a bit further inside, and he has a quicker reaction to this play. And he just goes pretty free into the backfield. So I think this is maybe twofold. Maybe Ronnie Bell's angle could have been a little bit tighter down the line to account for this guy flowing to the play, but it's also really tough. If this guy's reacting really quick, it's a really tight angle to actually get there and then get a block here, and you're just hoping this guy follows as well. That's the design, to take out these two guys, get a numbers advantage by this block. So the issue is that guy just goes pretty quickly, right? So that initial angle that we have for Ronnie Bell, this isn't going to cut it. This guy's going to be probably here by the time that Ronnie Bell is trying to block here. So he has to try to redirect back this way, and it's just that initial angle just isn't going to work there, and that's why that guy is there to make the play. If Ronnie Bell does take a tighter angle here, two things. If he takes a tighter angle here, he probably gets there. He's probably going to call for a blindside block. So I don't know why this kind of block is still even called in the playbook, because the refs are calling these extremely tight this year. So even if this does work, it could be a penalty, and I don't know. But regardless, this angle should have been probably a little bit tighter, but I also don't think he's set up really well for this play. And I'm talking Ronnie Bell set up by the coaches here. Otherwise, it's a well-blocked play, but again, that just shows you how one block can really blow it up, and in a catastrophic way here for Blake Corum in the backfield. So that's it.